Bradley Chubb, Adam Gotsis welcoming fans here for day 2 of Broncos training camp. The sun is shining and the grass is cut, and we are ready to go. Hello, and thank you for joining us for Broncos training camp 2019. I'm Phil Milani alongside Matt Boyer and Steve Atwater. Guys, what did you think about day 1 here?
Basic day one. It's not something to get too excited about or get too depressed about. I thought it was a good atmosphere for the guys to get back, get their feet wet, feel the helmet back on their heads for the first time in a couple of months. So, Steve, I think overall it was a solid day.
Yeah, I think the guys are happy to be back in the building. I know all the fans are happy to see them. We're happy to be back together. I think they went out and laid a nice foundation. Again, the rookies came out and get a chance to knock some of that rust, some of that fear off of them. Now they can buckle down and get to business.
Let's head down to the practice field and check in with Alexis Perry. Alexis, what did you think of day 1 down there?
Yeah, it was a great day 1, Phil. It really was. However, there was some bad news that came late. Yesterday afternoon, inside linebacker Todd Davis was carted off the field after his last play of team drills. He had an MRI later that afternoon, and that showed a partial calf tear, and reports are saying that he will miss somewhere between 3 and 4 weeks. So if that timetable holds true for Todd Davis, that means he should return to the field just prior to that week 2 preseason matchup against the 49ers. But, I mean, I truly, you guys, I would not be surprised with a partial calf tear. I would not be surprised if he didn't play a single snap this preseason. Back to you guys.
Hopefully that's not the case, Alexis. Hopefully we get to see TD back there on the field. We see linebackers coach Reggie Herring. What do you think that means for some of the other guys? They're going to have to, step up next man up, right?
Yeah, the Broncos did not take an inside linebacker like a lot of people thought they would in the draft in those higher rounds, but they do have some depth. Joe Jones, Keyshawn Bierria, Alexander Johnson, all of those guys are going to be contributed. They've contributed on special teams, but now they need to take advantage of those extra reps.
Yeah, another name, Justin Hollins, a rookie. He's going to play some on the edge and some on the inside. He'll get a chance to show what he can do as well.
All right, well, somebody's going to have to step up and play on that first-team defense to go up against Joe Flacco. Guys, what did you think of Joe Flacco's first time putting on that Broncos uniform and practicing out in front of the fans?
It was solid. Again, he wasn't bombing it down the field 50 yards every play like a lot of people wanted him to, but I thought, especially on those intermediate routes, Steve, those outcuts to the sideline, he showed great timing with wide receivers lower on the depth chart, guys like Tim Patrick and Juwan Winfrey. I thought it was a solid day, but overall, I know fans want to see him launching the deep ball down the field.
Yeah, I thought he had a solid day. He throws a beautiful pass and all that. It was interesting, though. Coach Fangio mentioned that that Joe's a guy who doesn't get too excited, doesn't get too down, just has that calm demeanor. But sometimes I think you got to have a guy that can get in guys' rear end to make sure that they can do everything that they need to do and play as physical as they need to play.
Well, Joe didn't really want to say that a change of surroundings rejuvenated his career, but he did say being here in Denver, there's a little bit of a different feel to it.
There is an energy about coming here and an excitement that I feel about coming to this new team and, getting another chance to, be a starting quarterback in this league. I don't think you can ever take for granted how awesome it is to get to do what I'm doing and what we are all doing. So I'm definitely excited about it and ready to go.
He's so smooth. I call him Pretty Boy Flacco. That's his name. Pretty Boy Flacco. He's just smooth. Even from, even saying down set hut, he's just very, methodical of how he moves. I never seen a quarterback move like that, but he spins it. He's had a lot of success. He's been in this league a long time. So
he's got that calm demeanor about him, and when things are going good, it's Joe Cool. And if things aren't going good, well, Joe doesn't care that much, or he's not getting fired up. So that's how Joe is, okay? But Joe's a competitor. He leads through example. He's not going to be a guy that loses his emotions. But trust me, inside his brain and belly, it's churning for him.
So we got a couple of new nicknames there for Joe Flacco. Pretty Boy Joe, Pretty Boy Flacco,
yeah.
Joe Cool. I gotta like the nicknames there for Flacco.
Yeah, there are some guys who are trying to, style their hair the way that he styles his. Do you know anybody like that?
Not me.
Oh, okay.
Oh, come on. Stop lying to the
guy
people,
with
Phil.
great hair, Drew Lock. Glad to see him get back out onto the practice field. Let's head down to Alexis Perry again. And Alexis, it was great seeing Drew Lock back out there at practice.
Yeah, it really was a relief to see Drew Lock ready to go day one of training camp, and he definitely took advantage of the reps that he got with the second-team offense. Coach Fangio said that he saw improvements in all areas of his game, citing that his command of the offense and quick decision-making were a couple of areas that he really liked seeing improvement in. But now let's hear from Drew Lock on how he felt day one went.
I felt a lot more comfortable out here today. There was a lot of plays where, like I said, going back, thinking about it now when I go back and watch the film after lunch, that I would have been back there thinking about what I'm doing with my feet and did I get the call off right. Instead, today I was out here really digesting everything, taking every single rep in, and being able to go back inside and watch it all over again and learn some more will be good for me.
Yeah, it sounds like the extra work that he put into his game back home in Missouri definitely paid off for him so far, but I'm definitely excited to see how he progresses today. Guys, back to you.
Thank you very much, Alexis. Yeah, we're looking forward to seeing Drew Lock out there for day two, but it's time for a quick break here on Broncos Training Camp 2019. When we come back, we'll get an update on Emmanuel Sanders, plus we'll get a behind-the-scenes look at the Broncos team hotel.
The best Broncos banter each and every week, that is Broncos Beat.
When we even asked him about the defensive line and where these guys slot in, he said, look, I expect everybody to be able to play everywhere.
They're all in their quote-unquote contract year. That usually means that you play at optimum level.
Catch up on all the latest storylines with your favorite beat writers every Monday evening at 6:30 on TV 20.
For Chris, quarterbacks look at him before the snap and say, okay, I'm not going that way.
Broncos Beat for the most in-depth coverage of your Denver Broncos.
Broncos fans, sign up for the Broncos Fit 7K on Sunday, September 1st. The run walk takes participants through the Sloan's Lake neighborhood and finishes on the 50-yard line at Broncos Stadium at Mile High. All participants will receive a Broncos 60th Anniversary Finisher's Medal, a historical t-shirt, and post-race entry into the Broncos Fit Expo with players, cheerleaders, and Miles the mascot. Go to Broncos7k.com and register now.
Of all the running backs can do anything. I mean, I don't think right now it's a matter of this or that. I think it's a matter of being prepared at all times. I mean, especially when your number's called to go out there and execute when the team needs you.
A lot of talent in that running back room. Royce Freeman looking for a big year, too. We are back here on Broncos Training Camp 2019, powered by Ford. I'm Phil Milani alongside Matt Boyer, and joined now by Andrew Mason with the Pro Bowl shirt on.
Strong print.
I like it.
Old school, about like 2008 Pro Bowl. It's what they used to issue to the coaches on the sidelines back when it was always in Hawaii. The dress in Orlando now is a little less colorful.
Yeah, exactly. A little less mace down there in Orlando. Matt, let's get into this running back room. Royce Freeman, what do you think it's going to take for him to, get a half split the carries with Phillip Lindsey this year?
He's shown the ability to run strong between the tackles, and I think that's what he's going to need to do here. Yesterday, we also saw him on the edge catching a couple of nice passes from Joe Flacco, so we know from his time in Oregon he can carry the bulk of a load, and he can really be a guy that you can depend on. But, Mace, when you've got a guy like Phillip Lindsey, it's tough to take carries away from that guy.
It is, but at the same time, you have to think about Phillip Lindsey's health over the course of a season and even beyond that. And a key for Phillip Lindsey is having another running back who can help shoulder the load. Otherwise, you may be talking about a career that is not as long as it could be, and you could talk about him kind of wearing down as the season goes on. You need a 1 and 1A split. Phillip Lindsey reminds me a lot of Warrick Dunn for Tampa Bay and Atlanta back in the 1990s and 2000s. The reason why Warrick Dunn played for 12 years was he had somebody to handle the load, whether it was Mike Allstott in Tampa Bay, TJ Duckett in Atlanta. He was always part of a running back combination. I'd like to see that develop with the Broncos.
You see the Broncos breaking stretch there. Now they're going to get into individual period here on day 2. Phillip Lindsey, of course, spent the majority of the offseason working out with that guy there, Emmanuel Sanders. They were in here rehabbing all the time. Emmanuel Sanders went through individual yesterday. What'd you see from him?
I thought he looked great. We've seen the Instagram posts. We've seen the photos on social media, the videos. We know the movements there. Now it's just about not pushing him back too soon. You want to make sure that a guy that has as many years under him as Emmanuel does, he's ready to go because you know what he can do immediately when he's healthy.
Yeah, exactly. Mace, what'd you think about Emmanuel?
A solid day. I mean, he didn't do anything in team in 7-on-7, so really it's still early to judge. He got up for some balls in individual work. It's a good step forward, but he still weighs off.
Well, Sanders was asked, hey, when will he know that he's ready for team drills? He said the answer is pretty simple.
Just getting back out there with the guys pretty much, right? Cutting and avoiding guys. And that's what I'm looking forward to. That's going to be the true testament to see if I'm ready to go. That's going to be the true testament to see if I'm in football shape.
Oh, I think that he's in football shape, right, guys? But, with him not going through team drills right now, Cortland Sutton, wide receiver number 1.
Yeah, he's wide receiver number 1, and it was a little bit of a rough day for him yesterday. A couple of drop passes, plays that he'd like to have back. He's got to be able to make those catches if he's going to be a true wide receiver 1, as he believes he can be. Look, it's only the first practice of his second season, so let's not get carried away in terms of evaluating what this means for his future. But he needs some better days than he had yesterday, and I think he'll have them.
Yeah, you had a chance to catch up with Sutton away from practice.
Yeah, absolutely. Every year the Broncos rookies have to have a roommate, or most of them have a roommate for the most part, when they go to the team hotel. But in his second year, not the case for Cortland Sutton. As we found out, he's got no roommate and a fresh outlook on the 2019 season.
I'm 5 doors down from Bradley, so he in trouble. Waking him up as soon as I get up in the morning, 6:30. Year 2, man, this is it. This is, time to go out there and prove all the work we've been doing. Show everybody that the Broncos, about to make moves.
This by any stretch of the imagination, these guys, when they go to the team hotel, it's not party time. It is go back to your room, put your boots on, get into the playbook, and go to sleep, because those next days start real quick.
Oh yeah, but I know that some of the guys bring their Xboxes, PlayStations, a chance
to have the Netflix
game a little
bit.
Yeah, exactly. So we spent the first block here talking about the offensive side of the ball. Let's go back to linebacking crew, and let's go back down to the field, checking with Alexis Perry. Alexis, with Todd not out there today, what does that mean for some of the other guys?
Yeah, that means that another guy from the 2018 rookie class is really going to have to step up, and we know exactly who that guy is. Number 47, Josey Jewell. If his numbers from year 1 didn't give him enough confidence, then the moment John Elway passed on Devin Bush on draft night, that should have been all the reassurance he needed. Clearly, this team knows that Jewell can be the guy, and with Todd Davis out the next few weeks, he'll have to step up more than ever. And so will Joe Jones. Jones was a reliable backup last year and will likely take over that second inside linebacker position as Davis recovers. Jones tallied a team-high 12 special team stops last season, and we can't forget about his 4 solo tackles. So with some extra reps on this first-team defense, I expect him to take full advantage of the opportunity and really shine. Back to you guys.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Also a guy maybe like a Keyshawn Bierria, that kind of, just somebody stepping up. Mace, what else? Somebody else you think?
I'd say Alexander Johnson is the name to watch. And as you're looking at some of the younger linebackers, look at a couple of rookies. Joe Deneen, who the Broncos signed from the University of Kansas, undrafted. And, of course, Justin Hollins, who's that combo inside linebacker, outside linebacker. And he's going to factor in somewhere in there. So it's pretty wide open. You hate losing Todd Davis, but it's a big opportunity for these guys, and we're going to learn a lot about them over the next several weeks.
And hopefully Todd Davis won't miss any actual playing time. Be ready for week 1 against the Raiders. Day 2 of practice well underway here at UCHealth Training Center. We'll be back the next several days here at 9:15. So fans, make sure you make your way out here. You get to sign autographs. You get to get up close and personal with some of the players afterward. It's pretty cool. Joe Flacco spent a long time signing autographs yesterday, and I'm sure a bunch of guys will do the same thing after practice today here. Let's wrap this thing up. Matt, what are some of your final thoughts?
I want to see today if the pattern holds that we saw yesterday with the use of Troy Fumagalli in that tight end split. We saw him get a lot of first-team reps. We didn't know where he was going to kind of fall on the depth chart, but I'm interested to see the balance between Fant, Hireman, Fumagalli, and Butt, and see if that pattern holds today.
And really interesting at tight end, Noah Fant, who you'd regard maybe more of a stand-up joker type tight end operating in space. They used him in line yesterday, and that meant sometimes going against Von Miller and trying in pass protection and run blocking. It shows confidence in him, but they're still trying to learn what Noah Fant can do, trying to learn the entire breadth of his skill set. I'd like to see them get him out in space, showcase him, allow him to do what he does best, which is get down the seam and cause havoc.
Alexis, down there on the field, what do you hope?
You know what? I'm totally with you guys today. I want to see how Troy Fumagalli comes out here today after Coach Fangio said that he can be an all-around tight end for this Broncos club. So having a traditional tight end with Joe Flacco in the pocket, I really love that potential. Back to you guys.
Yeah, Fumagalli getting a lot of first-team reps out there, so we'll see what the Wisconsin product is able to do, see how he can blend in with the rest of the other tight ends. A lot of talent in that room. All right, that is going to do it for us here on day 2. For Steve Atwater, Alexis Perry, Andrew Mason, Matt Boyer, I am Phil Milani. This has been Broncos Training Camp 2019, powered by Ford.